just for enjoyment. We're not expecting the kids to win the U.S. Open. We're just trying to give them an opportunity to play some tennis. You know, back in the day, you had to be a member of the country club to play tennis. Now all you got to do is show up. We'll provide you the tennis rackets, instructions, and sometimes if you need it, we'll find a way to get you some new shoes.
Summer has arrived, and each morning by 9 a.m., Ida Stone Jones Tennis Center is packed with youngsters between the ages of 6 and 14, lined up to grab a racket and listen in as Coach Roger Ackland reviews the fundamentals of a game he first learned in this very program. Rogers McCall watches from the sidelines, smiling as a tiny child lobs the ball toward a net, a visual reminder of why he started the Bristol program and why he is still involved 50 years later. National Junior Tennis League, or the NJTL, came to Bristol in 1974 when McCall, then a young attorney getting established in the community, responded to a magazine ad in Tennis World. A national representative traveled to Bristol and with help from parks and recreation leaders in both Bristol, Tennessee and Bristol, Virginia, launched the program that was already gaining popularity throughout the country.
Well, it started out when Arthur Ashe and his teammate Charlie Pastorell, who were Davis Cup members they went to school in California, came to Connecticut and played a tournament, but it was raining one day and they decided to come into the city in Harlem, and they set up a court in the middle of a street, just picked a street somewhere and marked it off, put a net up, and kids came out of the woodwork to watch them play. And so they turned over the rackets to the kids. The kids didn't have any kind of fit, white clothing on or anything. They just had tennis, whatever shoes or something they had. So they got the idea, well, why not start a program for kids and that don't get a chance to go to private clubs, let's say, or don't have the money to spend on instructors. And so that became the theme of it, and that's resulted in 400 and some chapters today that are all over the country. And we still have the same theme, which is to get kids involved and get them to start playing. And that's mainly the name of the game. Have fun. We have a 6-week program. It's part of a national program that's over 400 chapters all over the country. And everybody pretty much does the same thing. We cater to kids just starting out. We want them to do something other than to sit at home or get on what used to be TV, and now it's whatever it is. But anyway, so that's kind of where we are. We've got probably this summer 100 and some registered as far as attendance on a daily basis. And what we do is everybody has fun. That's the main thing.
In the early days, before the Ida Stone Jones Tennis Center, courts throughout Bristol were used to accommodate the massive crowds that registered for NJTL, which is now and always has been free to anyone who wants to play. Coach Ackland was just 12 years old when he joined the program through the boys' club. He excelled at the sport, earned a tennis scholarship to college, and then enjoyed a 20-year career in the U.S. Air Force before retiring at the rank of lieutenant colonel. He never stopped playing tennis. When he returned to Bristol, he reconnected with the man who introduced him to the game and agreed to oversee NJTL for the Bristol, Tennessee Department of Parks and Recreation, his way of paying it forward.
I owe a lot of people a lot of what I've been. I don't think I'm some glowing success, but without NJTL and without people like Rogers that looked out for me when I was a kid, I wouldn't have had half the opportunities. I mean, my family made sure I had everything I needed. They taught me how to be a young man and right from wrong, but really tennis is what allowed me to do a lot of the things that I've done in my life. And I'm still somewhat young enough to work with these kids, and my drug of choice is waking up in the morning and seeing if I can, have a great program for 70, 80 kids. I started out when I was at the boys club playing NJTL, and like I said, that was when we had pockets of NJTL all over the city. We had a city championship. We got in a van and we traveled from Douglas to Haynesville and played them. We either lost or won, but it was almost like playing a football game, only we were playing tennis. So now we're centrally located, but what I'm most proud about NJTL in this program, how many true clean programs are free out there for no other reason other than to give kids exercise and maybe an opportunity.
Well, we want them to get involved in some sport and to get, off the backside, so to speak. And tennis, we think, is one way to do it. And so by introducing to children 5, 6, 7, or 8 years old, we hope that they'll eventually keep on with it, or if not, just do whatever. But anyway, it's important to, we think, have children get involved in sports. And this is a wonderful lifetime sport. You can play it forever. I'm still trying to hit a ball.
The program provides rackets, balls, and a t-shirt for every kid who registers. Anonymous donors have even purchased shoes for a few kids who needed them. As the 6-week program continues, the kids learn the fundamentals of tennis and a whole lot more.
First and foremost, we teach them simple stuff like the grips, but luckily enough now versus when I was younger, they have little sponge balls, smaller nets, so the kids can be successful with true strokes, where if they were playing with an adult racket and a heavy ball, it would look really crazy, right? But we try to have fun games to teach them tennis without them realizing they're learning tennis. The tennis is the byproduct. Before that, they're like, hey, can we play this game? They don't understand they're learning forehands and backhands. And to be honest, I'm a little bit of a throwback. I know not all kids will get it, but at the end of the day, we meet on this court here, and all 80 of them, we come up with a word of the day. And today was about integrity, about doing the right thing when no one's looking, and also doing the right thing when everybody's looking, talking about peer pressure and don't just go with the flow.
To ensure the kids receive the attention they need while learning the game, Coach Ackland recruits volunteers from the long list of teens who have hired him for private lessons. Those who agree to help with NJTL receive a steep training discount.
And these are very advanced tennis kids. These are the top in the area, but they're out here feeding a ball to a 6-year-old, and they actually become legends for these little kids, and they learn a lot of leadership and responsibility.
After 5 decades, McCall remains an integral part of the Bristol program, attending most every day to encourage the young people and thank those who volunteer their time. Coach Ackland has been a godsend, he said, but others are quick to give credit to the man who first brought the program to Bristol and has continued to nurture it over the years.
Rogers McCall, what he has done for NJTL and our community really can't be replaced. He's done this is his 50th year involved in NJTL here, and what he has done through monetary, through just being here, through kids that came through a program when he was more involved in it and have come back to help. Those types of things that he has done for the last 50 years really can't be replaced as far as the tennis community goes and what happens here in Bristol.
This year's program will continue each weekday morning from 9 until 10:30 a.m. at the Ida Stone Jones Tennis Center through July 19th.
Ages 6 through 14 is who our NJTL is directed towards. We do have some outlying examples for maybe you have an older sibling and you're a year younger or a year too old. But you can go to bristoltn.recdesk.com and you can register all throughout the summer. So we never turn registration off, because even if you can come that last week and you can learn and you can come out here and play and enjoy the teenage volunteers and Roger and what he's doing out here, even if you can do it just the last week, we want you to sign up and we want you to come out and enjoy it.
By the time I either get off my motorcycle, my old Jeep, I get home and I'm very stiff and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. But it usually only takes one memory of a kid who was like, hey, thanks so much, or they went from being introverted to having buddies here. But there are kids here that come up to me and go, hey, Coach, I got all 7 t-shirts. I'm like, what? Okay, that's 7 different t-shirts. I've been here every year. And that kind of stuff is like a drug for you. It makes you go, okay, well, I'll throw some ice on my knees, I'll get something to eat, I'll take a shower, and then it gives you the energy to do it again. It would be almost hard to quit on these kids. It really would. And they're the ones that keep you coming back for it.
We just appreciate everybody coming out, bringing children, and if they have fun, bring other kids and mix them up and keep on hitting balls.